FBI is investigating some of the rather questionable pardons of former Kentucky Governor Matthew Bivin. Plus, the holiday season may soon be over, but while your decorations are still up, you may need to take steps to ensure they aren't stolen.
Live in Western Oregon, this is NBC 16 News at 11.
The FBI is looking into pardons issued by former Kentucky Governor Matt Bivin. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Filling in for Alan Matthews, I am Alexis Thrower. According to the Louisville Courier-Journal, an FBI agent reached out to a Kentucky state representative regarding an investigation into the pardons. Bevin is under fire for issuing more than 600 pardons and sentence reductions after losing re-election, exonerating men convicted of heinous crimes, including child rape and murder. So far, neither Bevin nor the FBI have commented on the investigation. 2 people are hospitalized, one with life-threatening injuries after they were hit by a pickup truck last night at Franklin Boulevard and Walnut Street. Eugene police say Michaela McClure and Bastion Moffitt-Fash, both 20 years old, had gotten off an LTD bus near the University of Oregon. They crossed against a no-walk signal while the westbound vehicle had a green light. EPD says McClure is in critical condition tonight. Moffitt-Fash suffered minor injuries. Police say the 2 are not U of O students. They say the driver, 70-year-old Larry Brink, has been cooperative in the investigation and impairment is not a factor. For some residents in our area, the Christmas cheer has been dampened by thieves. Their target, yard decorations. NBC 16 Stephanie Rothman talked to a victim.
You know, it's not a good thing. It's not neighborly.
Jackie Barnes' Springfield home has been hit by a local Grinch.
As she looked at the candy canes is when I went to go for the door.
She came out to a teenage girl who took a candy cane just like this one, pulled it out from the top, and ran down the street. And that's when her next-door neighbor caught up with the thief.
And I was talking to the one young girl, trying to say it's okay, but maybe you can take it back, apologize, replace it. And she spit right in my eye and said, F you, and ran down the road.
The damage was done. The Christmas green candy cane was broken in half and thrown away.
It's just upsetting, right?
It is. It's very upsetting.
While many focus on keeping their packages safe during the holidays, yard decoration is just as likely a target.
They are vulnerable, and that's what we always tell people is think about what you're putting out and leaving out and the expense of it, and are you prepared to lose it?
The holidays is already a hard time for the Barnes. A family member recently passed away and says the candy canes, Santas, and lights were all a way to power through for her kids.
I wanted to do this for my 8-year-old, you know, so she could really get into the Christmas spirit. And this is the first year that we've actually had the money to be able to get some outdoor decorations.
The tree was $16, but then there was probably
all the ornaments.
She spent upwards of $50, but says it's not the loss of money, but the loss of security that has hit her the most.
Whether it's a prank or not, it's wrong. It's wrong. You know, taking it, then it takes away from everybody.
Since then, her family's not only replaced the candy cane, but doubled their display, showing off and showing up to the thief. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Stephanie Rothman.
The victim has filed a police report but says the damage is already done. Eugene Police Crime Prevention Unit says the best way to prevent crime is to try and anchor your decorations down with zip ties. On the South Coast, fishermen at the docks in Charleston are starting to sweat after a fire burned down the ice house last week. The fishermen were met with a chaotic sight last Friday when the ice plant went up in flames. According to Charleston Fire, a motor to the compression system is what started the blaze that shot flames and ammonia into the air.
Yeah, you can just come right around. You can park right over here at OBS and you can see it coming up. It was burning up so bad we were worried that it might get the boats and stuff.
With no way to put their fish on ice, local fishermen are unsure how they're going to keep their catch fresh. Tuna, salmon, and drag fishing are all in trouble now that the ice plant is in ruins. But it's not only fishing that is affected. The entire port is going to suffer losses.
Affects other people too, like people that work on boats. Now they have less boats to work on, like my buddy Witt, he owns Witt Industries. He's looking at probably a dramatic loss of work due to the fact that a lot of boats are going to be leaving our port to get ice elsewhere and fish elsewhere. So and then businesses that service, you know, that restaurants, everything's going to feel it somewhat from the ice plant.
It may take years to replace the ice house, and now these fishermen are looking at other ports to fish and get ice. On to our first look at weather. NBC 16 meteorologist Travis Knutson joins us now.
Couple isolated rain showers are possible across western Oregon for our Christmas Eve night into Christmas morning, but they're relatively isolated, no heavy showers on the way. And by the time we get to our Christmas morning, we're pretty much done with the moisture at that point. And for all intents and purposes, Christmas pretty dry. And temperatures will be right around average for this time of year. And the next few days look pretty mild for us here in the Pacific Northwest as well. But here's a look at that satellite and radar loop. We have a cold front moving on through. This is where our few sprinkles we're seeing across the region this evening are coming from. Not a whole lot of moisture out there, but a drop or two, and that'll persist through the overnight hours. A look at your Christmas Day forecast. Highs will be in the mid-40s with mostly cloudy skies overhead, but for the most part, calling tomorrow nice and dry for western Oregon.
Thank you so much, Travis. Holiday-inspired window washers brought some Christmas joy to the Randall Children's Hospital in Portland. They were dressed up as the Grinch, Santa Claus, and the Nutcracker. You can see the kids watch from inside the building with joy. Some of them even got to high-five their favorite characters.
I thought it was super cool. I thought it was really fun. They're bringing all the joy to us at the hospital, so I thought that was cool. I haven't seen anything like it. I wasn't expecting it either.
And while Santa may be the man of the hour, the hospital says the Grinch was one of the most popular window washers. A grandfather in Oregon wanted to do something special for his grandkids this Christmas, and his idea makes for a pretty unique gift that can be used for years to come. However, this year's gift is not the kind you can fit under a tree. Instead, it's a school bus, so Doug Hayes can drive his grandchildren to school every day. The kids go to a small Christian school that does not have school buses, so when they saw Hayes drive up in one, they were pretty excited. The bus is fittingly named Grandfather Express. The kids think all of their friends will be impressed and excited to see it. Hayes hopes his unique gift will create memories they will never forget.
There's a sense of pride and excitement. I thought, well, who does this? This is crazy. We're so excited about it, and it's something that we are hopeful that they'll carry into their lives.
The grandkids can't wait to hop on board for their first ride to school in January. Coming up next on NBC 16 News at 11, instead of dragging that Christmas tree out on the curb when the holidays are over, consider using it to provide one more gift during the holiday season. Plus, the YMCA is gearing up for their end-of-the-year campaign, using the money to directly support locals who can't afford their services. And if you see breaking news, be sure to give us a call at 541-393-KMTR. That is 5687. Or send an email to newsdesk@kmtr.com.
Tomorrow on NBC 16 Today.
Actually,
16 News at 11.
A Eugene Elementary School wants to help people get rid of their Christmas trees for a fundraiser. NBC 16's Cassandra Gutierrez has details on where these students are heading to with the money raised.
We don't have a smaller amount of this. This is what you're working with.
McCornack Elementary is on a mission to explore and learn about history in the East Coast.
And for the kids to be able to actually experience all of this firsthand. Back East is just a really wonderful experience for them that just seems to, those memories just last a lifetime.
For some families, the $2,800 cost of this trip could be a far reach, and their upcoming Christmas tree pickup fundraiser will help students make this dream a reality.
This would really help us with our parents, since sometimes they don't earn as much, and this trip was really hard for my parents to be able to get, so having this fundraiser would really help.
Parents and students will take shifts these upcoming weekends picking up Christmas trees for a small fee of $10.
You know, we start the weekend after Christmas, and we're going through the end of January every weekend, and we'll come to your residence, we'll pick up your Christmas tree, and then we will take it to Lane Forest Products where it will be recycled.
Her son Lucas tells me this visit to the East Coast and historical monuments like the Lincoln Memorial will take him back in time to experience U.S. history.
So we're learning about Jamestown, the 1609, it's going to feel like I was there at the same time.
He says in his opinion, this trip will be the best trip of his life.
To me, it's important because I'll be able to understand more in depth of what's happening in the world.
A trip to the East Coast that will create memories for a lifetime. Reporting in Eugene, I'm Cassandra Gutierrez.
I love that. I've actually taken that trip when I was in middle school, so please support. And if you would like to support students going on this trip, I'm going to tell you how, because you can visit VCORNIC's official webpage and click the Christmas tree on the screen. Again, students begin Christmas tree pickups this upcoming weekend and through the month of January. They are also asking for a minimum of $10 donations. All the proceeds will go directly to covering the cost for the trip, so please help the kids. If you have burnt out Christmas lights and you're not willing to check every bulb on the string, well, we've explored what you should do with lights that no longer work. Lane County's master recycler wants to remind everyone that string lights don't belong in the recycling bin. They say it isn't ideal, and they have this issue every year. And the string lights don't agree with the recycling facility's equipment.
That actually causes quite a bit of trouble at the recycling facilities because the string lights wrap around the equipment and make everything less efficient, and then you have to cut all that stuff off, that clothing, other things that are stringy with a box knife, and it's kind of dangerous.
But don't throw those lights away either. Next Step Recycling on Jackson Street in Eugene will take them. They sell the scrap copper found in the lights and donate the money to a charity every year.
A lot of them don't work. And a lot of them are just in a ball, impossible to deal with, and people just chuck them, get some new ones. So people can just stop by and drop them off, and we take care of them from there.
Last year, they collected 5 tons of the lights, and they were able to get $1,500, which they donated to kids sports. Nelson says this year they're interested in donating to a nonprofit called Power On with Limb Loss that offers assistance to people who have experienced limb loss. The Salvation Army of Lane County needs your help in meeting their Red Kettle goal this holiday season. The organization still needs to raise about $60,000 of their $175,000 campaign goal. The funds raised stay in the communities where they are given to support those in need.
We have a utilities program. We have summer camp programs that we send. Last year we sent 65 kids to camp through the community. So it's this is our big push for the next 24 hours.
You can still donate online at eugene.salvationarmy.org. With only a week to go until 2020, the YMCA in Eugene is expecting some last-minute donations for their end-of-the-year campaign. The YMCA says they typically see an increase in donations this time of year. The money goes towards the YMCA's financial aid program, allowing the YMCA to offer their services to community members who cannot afford them.
We have a mission to ensure that nobody gets turned away from our programs or services due to an inability to pay. If there's financial constraints in the family and a family needs childcare, we provide them whatever financial assistance that they need. So whether it's childcare or membership, we're here to help however we can.
They raise funds for their financial aid program all year round, but a big portion of the money comes from the end-of-the-year program. Turning to weather now, NBC 16's meteorologist Travis Knutson is standing by for a look at what's coming up in your full forecast. Hey, Travis.
Plenty of clouds across western Oregon today for our Christmas Eve, and the clouds will continue to be with us overnight tonight, but we have some mild weather on the way. I'll give you a look at your Christmas Day forecast coming up next.
This holiday, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on meteorologist Travis Knutson.
A little bit of rainfall across western Oregon for our Christmas Eve evening and into our Christmas Eve night and even into parts of our Christmas morning, but it's not a lot of rain. In fact, looking at the satellite and radar here for the last couple of hours, seeing some showers showing up on the radar and some snowfall for higher elevations above about 4,000, 4,500 feet. But what we're seeing in moisture is not very much. And in general, any rain that's picked up around our region will only be about 1/100 of an inch, maybe 2/100 of an inch of rain. So very light showers overhead. But as we zoom on out to look at what's what's heading our way. You'll notice this storm system here out off to the west with the clouds riding along with it. This storm will actually not hit us. It won't bring us any rain whatsoever. What this storm system will do is it actually pushes its way down to the south, taking all the rain with it, moving into California, where it basically misses us entirely. And our next weather pattern change, our next weather maker, is actually this high pressure center out here to the west. And what that does is it gets closer to us and it brings in some dry and mild air from the southwest. And this is with us pretty much all day long for our Christmas. So we'll see some dry conditions tomorrow, a little bit of cloud cover overhead, but this weather pattern stays with us through our Thursday into Friday, and even Saturday will likely stay nice and dry until we see potentially a storm move in by the end of the weekend. So here's a look at those rain showers we'll see overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. They're rolling in from the Pacific Ocean, but there's not a whole lot of them. Any rainfall we see will be very light in nature. In fact, this is midnight tonight, where you could see the occasional rain shower showing up around the area. Short-lived by the time we reach the morning hours. This is our Christmas morning, pausing the clock at 8 o'clock in the morning. Plenty of clouds overhead, but not really seeing any more raindrops on the map. And even as we progress throughout Christmas, seeing clouds to stay, but no rainfall for us locally. So any showers we do pick up is basically tonight. By the time we reach tomorrow morning, we're done, and then the dry weather settles in for a couple of days across western Oregon. So here's a look at where our temperatures will be tonight across the Willamette Valley. 30s, pretty common. Highs tomorrow, mid-40s, which is about average for this time of year. 44 degrees in Junction City. Sweet Home at about 45. Winds from the southwest, 0 to 5 miles per hour. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast for the Eugene-Springfield area. We are watching some 40s to be with us through the remainder of the week into our weekend. Maybe a couple raindrops on Sunday with another storm moving on in. Those overnight lows getting a bit chilly, though. Notice some at or below freezing temperatures for the next night or two. So be ready for a bit of a chill for those nighttime temperatures moving forward. A look at our temperatures on the coast, upper 30s to right around 40 degrees for our nighttime lows. Highs tomorrow, right around 50 degrees. Bandon at 50, North Bend, Coos Bay area at 49, Reedsport picking up a temperature of 47 degrees. Your 7-day forecast for the Oregon coast. Some sunshine breaking through here and there as we get into Thursday and Friday. Clouds begin to build back in on Saturday with rain showers potentially returning to the coast on Sunday. Overnight lows mostly in the 30s for the next couple of nights for those up and down the Oregon coast. The Umpqua Valley facing some 30s for nighttime temperatures. Highs tomorrow, mid-40s on the way, right around average for this time of year. A look at the 7-day forecast for Roseburg. Sun possible here and there around the region, but we never lose the clouds entirely. In fact, Saturday we see the clouds start to build back in, and then maybe some showers return back to the area by Sunday. But until we get to that point, the dry weather is here for the Pacific Northwest.
Thank you so much, Travis. And you can track those weather conditions through your neighborhood at any time by downloading our NBC16 app. Also, be sure to check out our website and Facebook for interactive radars and the latest information. Coming up next in sports, with the new year approaching, so many of us will look back and reflect on the year we've had. So we decided to do the same, taking a look back at the best sports moments in 2019.
Paid the price.
You paid too much.
The 16 Sports Test is brought to you by Three Rivers Casino Resort.
Hello and Merry Christmas Eve. While Santa has been busy making the naughty and nice list and of course checking it twice, our Hayden Herrera decided to make a list of his own. He recaps the top 10 best sports moments in our area from 2019.
We begin our countdown at number 10, May 31st, the 2A 1A Baseball State Championship game. Umpqua Valley Christian 1 out away from winning it all, but a routine fly ball by Kennedy is dropped not once, but twice, sending the game to extra innings. Luckily, UVC would score 5 runs in the 9th to win their 3rd state title in school history. That same weekend is where we can find number 9. Speaking of state championships, 2 local softball teams ended the season as champs. In 6A, the Sheldon Irish capped off a 25-win season with a 5-4 win over Tualatin to win their first ever state championship. And in 2A 1A, the North Douglas Warriors won 28 games and destroyed Kennedy 15-6 to win it all, their 2nd title in 3 seasons, in the first state title games to ever be played at Jane Sanders Stadium. At number 8, April 19th, a historic season for the Oregon State gymnastics team comes to a close. The Beavers making it all the way to the NCAA championships in Fort Worth, Texas, finishing in 6th place, their highest finish under head coach Tanya Chaplin, with Caitlin Yanish, Isis Lowry, and Maddie Dagan earning all conference honors. Number 7 on the countdown, November 9th, a jam-packed Matthew Knight Arena was in for a treat. An exhibition game between the Oregon women and Team USA. The Americans had gone 20 years without losing to a collegiate team until that day in Eugene. The Ducks led from the start and never wavered, a 93-86 victory. Sticking with hoops for number 6, March 16th in Las Vegas, the Oregon men do the unthinkable. 4 consecutive wins in the Pac-12 tournament, a complete turnaround from the regular season that vaulted the Ducks into the NCAA tournament, where the magic continued, upsetting number 5 Wisconsin and reaching the Sweet 16. At number 5, June 3rd, there was never any doubt about where Oregon State's Adley Rutschman would land. The Golden Spikes National Player of the Year, drafted number 1 overall in the 2019 Major League Baseball draft by the Baltimore Orioles, the first ever Beaver to go number 1. Coming in at number 4, November 30th, the Santiam Christian Eagles in the 3A state championship game against Hidden Valley. Down 7 with 5 minutes to go, the Eagles score 2 late touchdowns to win their 2nd state title and wrap up an undefeated season. Staying with high school football on November 30th for number 3, one state championship is nice, but how about going back to back? That's what the Thurston Colts did in 2019. After their Cinderella run to the title last year, the Colts were no secret this season, demolishing opponents with an average margin of victory of 35 points. Their state title game against Crater was their closest, but led by running back Wes Comer, the Colts won 14-10 to make it 2 consecutive titles. At number 2, December 6th, the college football playoff wasn't in the cards for Oregon football in 2019, but a chance at the Pac-12 championship was still up for grabs. Facing number 5 Utah, the Ducks came out of the gates in Santa Clara, shocking the Utes and their fans. A 37-15 win to knock Utah out of the playoff and to send the Ducks to the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day against Wisconsin. And at number 1, March 31st in Portland. After being denied a trip to the Final Four the past 2 seasons, the 3rd time was the charm for Oregon women's basketball. The Ducks had their hands full with a tough Mississippi State team that nearly beat Oregon in Eugene a few months prior. Sabrina Ionescu didn't need a triple-double. A 31-point performance was plenty to lift the Ducks to their first ever Final Four. And while the dream of a national championship ended a few days later in Tampa, don't be surprised to see the Ducks back on the list in 2020 as we get set to enter the new year.
Thank you, Hayden. That'll do it for sports. Merry Christmas. Back to you.
Coming up next on NBC 16 News at 11, as we told you earlier in the show, stealing Christmas decorations can put a damper on your holidays, and the same issues are happening nationwide. Fortunately, this story out of Minnesota has a happy ending.
I'm about to say 2 words that will make Washington insiders very uncomfortable.
Grinch in a Minnesota neighborhood, but he's a welcome sight. Just after Thanksgiving, someone stole a homemade Grinch decoration from a yard in Apple Valley. The homeowner, Josh Stroman, made the 6-foot-tall Grinch out of plywood 3 years ago. He posted about the theft on Facebook and got thousands of strangers to share his post. Stroman finally decided to just make a new one. The original Grinch that was stolen has still not been found, but he was still able to make lemonade out of such a situation and create a new one. So that's still awesome and a wonderful way to find some Christmas cheer, even if there is a Grinch on the loose. So thank you for watching NBC 16 News at 11. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Hello. Mom, are you going to make it on time?
Don't worry, sweetie.